Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be looking at the best investments to be making in FC25. Now that Footy's Team 3 has been released, there are loads of potential investments to make, and hopefully we can make you double your coins. But before we get into those, first we should look at the investments that I recommended in the last video and see how they are doing. So if we go ahead and look at my transfer targets, in the last video, I recommended trying to buy Saliba under, I think it was 48,000 coins. I was able to get quite a lot on bids for 46,000 coins. And also recommended getting Upamecano under 18,000 coins. We got a couple of him. There's also more in the club and also on the transfer list. I think I also recommended getting Thuram. I think I was able to get him for 27,000 coins. There we go. So let's see how they were doing and if we should sell now or not. Now the reason why I told you to buy these was because those cards are going out of packs, so they should rise, and that's what happened in Team 1. So once these cards went out of packs, they rose quite well. Now if we look at Thuram, I believe he's around 50,000 coins. There we go. 48,500 coins, so he's up by around 20,000 coins since I recommended, so that's some nice profit, almost doubling right there. Now we can have a look at Saliba. I think he is about 75, under 75, 78, has he reached 80? Okay, wow, so he's doing really well. He's at 81,000 coins, maybe even 82, around 82,000 coins. So as I said, we bought him for under 48,000 coins, and that's a nice 34,000 coin profit per card. Now let's look at the last one. This is for people with a little bit of a smaller budget, because Upamecano was only 18,000 coins that I recommended we buy at, and I believe he's just under 30. Okay, he's a bit more. He is currently 35,000 coins, so that's a nice 17,000 coins increase. Now if you have bought in, what do I recommend doing? Well, today is Saturday, so we have got FUT Champions on. I personally recommend trying to sell before 5 p.m. UK BST time on Saturday, and then I'll probably try and get out of these cards. That's just because people will be buying them to use in their FUT Champions or Weekend League teams, but then once Weekend League stops, people start selling their teams and they'll just go down. And I think even if they do rise after that, it'll be a lot of a slower rise and there'll be better places to put our coins into. But anyway, with that being said, now let's look at the potential investments that you could be making and that can hopefully do just as well as these. Now, with Footy's Team 3, if you have a look at the squad, there's a couple of nice players which have gone out of packs because they have now got their Footy's cards in packs. And if we just have a look, I think it's looking at Musiala. Let's have a look at how much he is. And we look at their gold cost because these are the cards that have gone out of packs. Look, as you can see, he is extinct. Now that's because he has gone out of packs with his Footy's card. But there are still some cards which have not gone up to the same level, and I think still have quite a lot more room to rise in price. And the first one of these will be Ronaldo. Now he has pretty much stayed at the same price since his Footy's card has been put into packs, and he hasn't really gone up with too much like pre-hype before the card was put into packs. So I think he's around 2,500 coins. There we go, he's even cheaper. Is he 2,300, 2,400? Okay, just 2,400 coins. A lot of cards on the market, so you can probably go ahead and pick him up for around 2,200 coins or under on bid or on snipe, and I personally think that's a pretty good deal. I can expect him to rise to about 4 to 5k throughout the week as people buy him and he has no supply. Now with these cards, what I'm recommending is, unless you're on quite a low budget, just try and pick up 5 to 10 of these cards and keep them on your transfer list. They'll go up gradually throughout the week, and with EA dropping so many evolutions, they should also rise if a relevant evolution is put out. That's what happened last week with, I think, Nuno Mendes, who did really well. We can also have a look at Cavascalia. He is looking to be around 2,000. Oh, he's 850 coins, so he has not risen at all since he was put into packs. So that's a very, very nice card to buy, no risk, and he should go up to at least probably 4K as the week goes on. A couple of the cards to look at. I'm not gonna like show them to you, but Adeyemi is a decent one. Again, only 700 coins, so he is not bad to buy. And there is also Bruno Guimaraes, 800 coins. He is not bad either. And the last one that I thought is probably the best actually is Rafinha. Now he is 1,900 coins, so he has gone up slightly. But I think if you can try and get him under 1,500 coins, that is very, very good. As I said, just keep 10 or so of these cards on your transfer list and they'll rise throughout the week. So that is the first investment. Now, before we go any further, make sure you do join my Discord. It is a completely free FC25 training Discord. That is where I say all my investments, including the ones in these videos. You can ask me any questions, and I say plenty more. Now, let's go ahead and look at the next investment, and that is going to be fodder, and more specifically, it's going to be 89 rated cards. Now, yesterday, with a lot of packs being opened due to FTSE Team 3, 89 rated cards went down in price. And I think if we have a look at Hegerberg, hopefully I've said that right, she is at around 5,000 coins. Now that is a pretty decent price to buy her at. EA have done really well in like regulating the market. As you can see there, one up for 4,500 coins. Throughout 50 years, they've constantly been fluctuating between like 5,000 coins or maybe 4,500 coins at the very low end to around 8,800 coins, 9,000 coins. They've been constantly fluctuating because EA have been releasing plenty of very good SBCs. So this is their low point. I recommend you go ahead and buy 89 rated cards. So you've got this Hegerberg, as I said, try and get her under 5,000 coins. You've also got Odegaard, you could try and get for under 5,000 coins. Those are probably the two main ones. Ter Stegen and Alisson are a little bit more expensive. You can also have a look at 88 rated cards. They are currently looking at 3,500 coins. If you have a look at Beth Mead, I also think that is not a bad investment at all. Maybe just a club stock of all of them. And again, same reason as before. EA have been doing a very good job of regulating their price, making sure they do not stay down for too long. So if you can try and get them under 3,600 cards, got so much supply, you can probably get her for 3,300 cards and 3,300 coins, and that's a very good price, I think. That's going to be all from me today. There's the two investments, and yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe, join the free Discord, and that'll be it from me today, guys. Goodbye.